All right.
Hello?
Hi, Mr. Hammond. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good, good. Well, Mr. Hammond, my name's Iturriria with Gartner for CIOs, and I'm super glad that you agreed to meet with me today. Are you still available to meet up for those 10 minutes we have scheduled today?
Yes, I am.
In the 10 minutes? Okay, perfect. All 10 minutes is all I need, and it's super nice to chat with you. So, Mr. Hammond, I was go ahead and looking through your guys' account, and I saw that the last time that we had contact with you guys was 2013, and I don't know about you, but a lot has happened in the last 10 years for me. But what's one of the most exciting things that has happened to you in the last 10 years, you'd say?
Probably just, jumped into this new role as a CIO for this company.
Cool, cool. And I was checking out your account. About how long have you been there with the American Group?
About 5 years.
5 years? Perfect.
Yeah.
And moving forward, and where did you come from exactly? What were you kind of in the same type of industry or?
I was over at Black & Decker, working for them as an account manager and stuff, and made the switch.
And what prompted you to make the switch, if you don't mind me asking?
A bigger salary and hopefully more time with my kids.
Cool, that's exciting. How old are they, if you don't mind?
12 and 14.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I got a few kiddos of my own back at home, but a little bit younger, more of a work. But I heard it only gets better as they get older. I don't know.
Hopefully, you never know.
All right, well, Mr. Hammond, but it was super nice to just chat with you a little bit. So, kind of what the rest of this meeting is gonna look like. We're just gonna chat a little bit about what you're doing over there at the American Group, and kind of just hopefully offer some solution for you. And I should say for you more specifically, you and your company as a result. If you don't mind me running through the American Group a little bit. I was kind of checking out your guys' account, and I was seeing that you guys are in the lubrication industry, and you guys also have some pharmacies and own some few speed marts in result. How does that work with the connection between those speed marts and then kind of your wholesale distributors that you guys got going on?
Yeah, so the speed marts are kind of like location hubs that sell a lot of the pharmaceutical stuff. And so in these situations, it's supply chain management that really goes into a lot of these, because we need different hubs for the lubricants to be, dropped off at in order to go into distribution. And so we use these speed marts for also, extra revenue in order to create a lot of new avenues for revenue.
Yeah, and so on those speed marts, are those franchised out or are those owned solely by the American Group?
They are franchised out.
Franchised out. Okay. And how do you guys go about acquiring a new speed mart? Would that be initiated by you guys, or would that be a franchisor kind of talking to you guys about that? How does that kind of work, if you don't mind me running through that?
It's all location. So where we kind of make sure that we set up speed marts a certain distance from each other, so that there's no two speed marts too close, because it's really for supply chain distribution, because, pharmacies need to be accessible, and also there needs to be, stopping points for the lubricants to get to clients.
Yeah, and what did your guys' company look like over the last 18 months with the current pandemic we're experiencing and kind of having less people on the roads? What did that look like in terms of sales and ultimately productivity for you guys in the last 18 months?
Well, for a second, it stopped in the short run, but after that, the long run, the supply chain has been pretty clogged up. And so these speed marts and lubricants and all our products have been greatly overstressed, in my opinion.
Would you guys say, what does that look like in the terms of the supply chain? Were you guys having supply chain issues, especially if you guys outsource a lot of your guys' stuff, or how's that working?
We use the speed marts as kind of almost like hubs for, storage and for sales and all these different avenues. But in terms of the actual supply chain, it really depends on if we can get drivers, if we can get people to actually move the product from one place to another. And that's our biggest issue.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's nice to hear you chat a little bit about that. I'm going to go ahead and move us over to our presentation. So what I'm going to be presenting for you guys is our Gartner for CIOs. And essentially what this is going to be for you, Mr. Hammond. I know you were talking a lot about your company and the supply chain issues that you guys are facing in terms of that, but I know that you've only been there for 5 years, and I know there is a lot of room for growth in the last 5 years, but we're looking for you to support you from your entire time over there at the American Group. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and kind of just chat with you a little bit about some of the solutions and kind of maybe just the help that we could end up providing you over here at Gartner. So a big thing at Gartner is we kind of focus on three big categories. One, our research, two, our cost optimization tools, and three, our executive partner. And just kind of chatting, just discovering a little bit of your needs. I feel like this research would be a super helpful tool for you guys in the sense of that you guys were talking about moving forward and that you guys were starting to bottleneck out as a result of COVID. And supplying research having to do with demand and supply chain could be super beneficial to you guys. Do you see you guys kind of benefiting from a service that could provide you this unbiased research moving forward?
The research aspects, no, because we kind of see what problems we're facing. But what I would say is I would like to see more of what isn't working or what hasn't worked for other people so I can learn from their mistakes rather than having to make the same mistakes for myself.
Yeah, definitely a big thing of us. If we're going to go ahead and move over to our market guide, this is kind of a big, this is going to be essentially kind of aligning your plans to the future of the market. And this could be essentially a big tool that can help you guys. So right now, how are you guys kind of conducting those analysis in the terms of, in the aspects of like, hey, like how are we matching up against our competitors?
We're really just looking at, in terms of our competitors, we're really just looking at revenue and making sure that we're not getting hacked by Russians or anything like that. We want to keep our trucks on the road and our operation efficient. But, I don't really, in races, you don't look behind you to see if the other guy is catching up. Kind of just keep your head forward. So
exactly.
I don't like to compare myself to other companies.
No, for sure. Super understandable. Well, moving forward, you were saying you guys kind of do like to look at this revenue. Another tool I'm going to go ahead just before I know we're kind of running out of time a little bit here was our cost optimization tool. And that comes into terms of our contract review services. I know you guys were saying that a lot of your guys's speed marts are franchise based, and that does entail a lot of paperwork and a lot of liability as you guys are solely responsible. But again, they're kind of feeding those contracts back and forth with you guys. So what does that kind of look like on the contract side with those franchises? Is that like a monthly revenue, or is that like an annual commission, or how is that kind of working, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, so for a lot of our contracts, it's with shipping lanes and private organizations and stuff like that. So it's hard to kind of negotiate with these people because they definitely have the upper hand right now since demand is very high and supply is very low. But we do look at all of our contracts from a very objective eye and make sure we're staying fair to the people that are also working for us, so that we're a company they want to work with as well.
Yeah, and as we're kind of rounding down the end of this meeting, I just want to go ahead and put into this slide kind of showing a little bit about the relationship between the price of the contracts that we do review here at Gartner and the average amount of dollars saved with this review service. So, I mean, I'm sure you can, without asking, I'm sure you can go ahead and fill in what some of the dollar value on some of these contracts would look like for you. And you can go ahead and see about what the estimated savings would be in terms of Gartner. Do you see that this kind of hard dollar savings that you would be saving with Gartner as something pretty beneficial to you guys?
Yeah, I definitely see this being a big money back in the bank, but it really depends on what the price of your services are. Because, if you're charging me 120 grand and I'm saving 150 grand, it's only 30 grand saved. And is that, the best use of services and time? So I just want to make sure it's all coming back full circle.
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and point you to our pricing side a little bit. This is kind of an overview of what our services look like. So you, Mr. Hammond, would be in the middle right there as the leader with the CIO. And then moving on, we're going to have a direct report license that is available for an additional fee per year. So Gartner is a 3-year contract. And essentially how that works is we do this so we can work with you guys in the long run. I know you were talking a little bit about that with your guys' speed marts. You guys are focused a lot on your guys' long run, and so are we over here at Gartner. And we just want to be sure that we can provide you with the best service possible, being that this isn't an annual service that you need to renew at the end of the year. We just want to ensure that we're here for a good chunk of time, and we're going to be able to make a difference for you guys. Does that sound like that kind of long-term partnership sound like something that would be beneficial to you guys?
Yeah, I would just say the contract really doesn't, because if I don't like what I'm getting in the first year, I'm kind of locked in for another 2 years, and that could be kind of detrimental to my business. I would really like to see the contract and see if there's, I do trust you guys. You are S&P 500 company, but at the same time, I would want to know that if I'm not satisfied, you guys wouldn't hold me to a contract that I don't want to be in.
Well, Mr. Hammond, you know what? It's good that you say that and that you are interested in seeing that contract. Mr. Hammond, we actually are running out to the end of our meeting, but I would
It's
love to
okay. You
go
can go ahead
ahead.
and take 5 more minutes. I'm interested in this company, so
Okay,
like.
no worries. For the sake of time, I actually have to jump off, and I know it kind of was a hard stop. So we're gonna go ahead, if that'd be okay with you. We're gonna go ahead and plan a meeting for next Thursday afternoon, so we can go ahead, show you that contract. You can bring some of the decision makers from your team. I'll go ahead and bring my team, and we can kind of jump into some more of a pricing and packing meeting. Does that sound good to you, Mr. Hammond?
Yeah, it sounds great.
Thursday, how about like 3 p.m. next Thursday?
Perfect.
That's awesome. You know what? Thank you so much for listening to my spiel, and it was super nice to hear about you, your kids, and your whole supply chain. It was super nice to chat with you, Mr. Hammond. Have a good one.
You too, Issa. I was really hard on you. Sorry.
You're fine. Hold on, wait, stop. How do I stop recording?
It should be at the bottom record button.